so for number 1, it says 2 students simplified a number as shown. And the number that they were simplifying was 25 to the 3/2 power. Okay, the first step in solving this equation would be to factor out 25. When you factor out 25, you get 5 and 5. 5 times 5 is 5 squared. So 5 squared to the 3/2 power replaces 25. Okay, so the formula using is a to the b power to the c power equals a to the bc power. Now we're just going to plug this into this. So 5 squared times 3/2. And you're going to want to put a 1 under this 2 just so it's easier to multiply. And you're just going to multiply straight across. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then 1 times 2 is 2. And you're just going to bring over the 5. And 6/2 reduces to 3. So that'd be 5 to the 3rd power. And 5 to the 3rd power equals 125. Therefore, student A is correct. Okay, so for number 2, you're going to solve this by completing the square. So let's write the problem down here. X squared minus 10x plus 36 equals 0. Now you're going to want to subtract 36 from both sides. So it cancels on this side, minus 36. X squared minus 10x equals 36. Negative 36, sorry. Okay, and to get the third term in this equation, you use the formula b over 2 squared. So the b term in this is negative 10. So negative 10 over 2 squared equals 25. So you're going to plug that in. You're going to add 25 to both sides. X squared minus 10x plus 25 equals negative 36 plus 25. Okay, and now we're going to find the two numbers that add to give us 10 and multiply to give us 25, and that would be 5 and 5. So x minus 5 squared, because that's a minus sign, so it'll give us a negative 5. So the answer is C. Add 25 to both sides of the equation to express x squared minus 10x plus 25 as x minus 5 squared. So for number 2, the answer is C. Number 3, the length of a rectangle is 2x minus 1 units and the width is x minus 2 units. The area of the rectangle is 20 square units. So what is the length of the rectangle? Okay, so this is an area problem. So area equals length times width. For this problem, we don't really have length or the width, but we do have the area, and the area is 20. So 20 equals length times width. Now to get the length, which is telling us what to find is the length, you're going to want to multiply the binomial. 2x minus 1, x minus 2. Okay, so that, use the FOIL method, first out, inner, last. Okay, that gives us 2x squared minus 5x plus 2 equals 0. Set that equal to 0. Now you're going to finish it using the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, now we're going to plug these numbers into this formula. So that's our a term, our b term, and our c term. So negative 5 equals 5 plus minus square root of negative 5 squared minus 4 times 2 times 2, and then 2 times a is 4. So 5 plus minus the square root of 9 divided by 4, and the square root of 9 is 3. So for this you get 5 plus minus 3 divided by 4. So 5 plus 3 gives us 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 5 minus 3 gives us 2, and 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. Okay, now we have our answers, 2 and 1/2. And we go over here to our choices, and we see that 0.5 units, which is 1/2, is our answer. So for number 3, A's answer, 0.5 units is the length. For number 4, the first step in solving this equation would be to set it equal to 0. So, y squared plus 7y equals 6. To set it equal to 0, you have to subtract 6 from both sides. So, minus 6 y squared plus 7y minus 6 equals 0. So now we're going to solve by using the quadratic formula. And the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 4a. Now we're going to plug these in. We have our a term, our b term, and our c term. And we're going to plug this into this formula. So, negative 7 plus minus square root of 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 6 divided by 2. Don't know why I put 4a over there. It should be 2a. Okay, so I'm going to write this down. So negative 7 plus minus 2. Okay, now we're going to leave that blank so we can figure out the rest. So 7 squared is 49. Okay, and then negative 4 times 1 times negative 6 gives us 24. So 49 plus 24 equals 73. And 73, there's no square root of 73, so the answer for this is negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 73 divided by 2, and that gives us A. Y equals negative 7 plus or minus square root of 73 divided by 2. Okay, so for number 5, we look at the chart, we see, before we get into the chart, we're going to read the problem. Jonah threw a tennis ball straight up in the air. The ball traveled up to a maximum height and then fell back down to earth. The height of the ball at various times after being thrown is shown in the table below. The height of the ball is a function of time, is described by the function h equals negative 16t squared plus 50t plus 6. At which of the following times is the ball located exactly at a height of 41 feet? So we're going to look at the chart. We see we have 40, 42, and 12 feet. Okay, and in between here, 40 and 42, we know that 41 would be there. And in between 1 and 2, we know that'd be 1 and a half. And 1 and a half written as a decimal is 1.5, which gives us our answer B, 1.50 seconds. That is all for this.